Hey everyone, welcome. Today is the 18th of January 2023. Just talk a little bit about some little extra things just in case I didn't cover what I've already shown you. Those tutorials will be listed below. Now when you're looking, it'll be on the right hand side at the top. There should be a little eye icon. If it's not there, I fail dismally to create it on YouTube, but in the description box below or in the playlist that I have, just go and check that out after you've watched this video to watch the other videos that you might have missed, where I go much more in depth into the journal jewellery. And I am in the process of trying to complete an older one that I did back in 2020 and a couple more. So just to show you some of the things that you can create, and whatever I've used when it comes to my printables, they'll be listed below as well. So these particular types of paper come from my antique archives collection, and there's a lot of script in that one, and it's antique letters and so forth. And these beautiful ladies that you see sort of peppered around the place, they're from my Silhouette Kit Volume 5, if you're wondering. And of course the others are from my journal jewellery kit. And these ladies here, they're not featured, I just had them there, so sorry if I'm tempting you. But this one in particular is from my medieval Renaissance maidens and manuscripts collection. But anyway, everything will be listed below with regards to the digital kits. Now, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things just to show you what you can do. So this I just painted up and roughly, and you'll be seeing a lot more of these tutorials in depth. But one of the ways that you can make some nice greeting cards, how you can make your journal toppers, your greeting cards, your journaling cards, any of that kind of style, or even like a tag, you can make them ornamental and it can look really, really special that way. So this one here can go straight on, and it's already got a beautiful frame. Or you can add another layer, and I would just make that a little bit smaller because it's hiding some of those gems from behind it. But that's another way. So there's a number of ways that you can use these jewellery pieces. You can layer them. I mean, you could easily use this and back it up and make it into a dangly. I mean, whatever you like. It's really up to your imagination and your taste. So that's just one way that I like to play around with these. Just layering and adding some really interesting character to your journal pieces. Now with this one here, I did this really rough just to show you how easy it is. It's just cardstock, and if I'm going to be using this as a greeting card or a journaling card, I would definitely be gluing some coffee stain paper in here to make it easy to see the writing. But that's not necessary. But this would also look really beautiful on a cover, a journal cover, or it can be a feature when the cover is opened. There's just so many options as regards this. Okay, so here's another idea. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love this one. So imagine one of your friends getting a greeting card like that, or guess what? Invitations. You could make an invitation like this and have a theme. And even if you had placement cards, You could make something miniature and make it really, really special for a wedding or a ball or engagement, anniversary, whatever theme. But yes, you can make some really pretty things. Now, how I actually made this, I've got another tutorial for that one coming, because I use this particular one and this for a journal cover that you've kind of seen glimpses of. So when that's up and running, you'll get to see it, and that's why I'm encouraging you to subscribe if you haven't. To all my subscribers that have, thank you so much, everyone. You are just beautiful viewers, so thank you so much. And yes, please put those notification bells on. That is so important, because then you'll be notified when I upload. I will try to get to upload as regularly as possible, but please stick with me. I will be getting back to your comments and as well as the tutorials. Yeah, I really am very limited with my health, my energy and other things, but I'm really trying my best to push on. Yeah, push on as best I can. Okay, so that was one. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was these little cuties. And I thought I would just color this in with you. Where did that one go? The pink one. Okay, so now these ones here, they have got, they're just done with the gold, marigold, but you can use the PBO relief paint. And I've used the green and the raspberry, and this is the garden, and this is marigold. Okay, so those are the ones, garden, raspberry, to create this. But anyway, so that's the kind of results that you can get with these ones. And this is what they look like when they're just sitting there. And I find, oh, and these ones were done with the peacock. That's the other color that you can see. That was with the peacock, the raspberry, and the marigold. So those are those. And I did this on purpose so that you can see, you can just glue these on. You might want to thicken your cardstock depending on what you're after with what you're making. But it's certainly a lot better than just on paper, unless you're going to be gluing them straight into your journal. That's a little bit different. But anything that you can create a little bit of depth to adds to the reality of what you're trying to achieve, that journal jewellery, historical jewellery look. So the first step is to basically, you're really colouring in, or you're creating lines so that you can colour in. So this was this, and this was this. Now obviously this is a different one in the sense that they're still the same. I've just added something extra in the center for you to play around with. You might go ahead and use glossy accents just to fill in those other pieces, and then just use your gold or whatever color you're going for to do a filigree in the center if you wish. So so that was the start, and then we had this, and then you just fill it in with your liquid pearl. Oops. So I'll probably end up doing that with you just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's now just get this done here so that you can go and experiment yourselves. I just don't know, some days I can't put my words together. I really can't. It's a struggle. So these are the ones we're going to be working on now, and I'll put that there so you've got something nice to look at. Oh, by the way, what I wanted to show you was, so this has become this. Now I could add something else in the center if I wanted to, and add, say, something like this. There's just so many ways of approaching all of these. So you could do that and maybe add a bit more filigree. It's just so many ways that you can use them. Oops. But I have really enjoyed either making them this way, and yeah. So I'm going to add these bits, and so that you can see me working on them. The peacock and the raspberry. I just feel they're a really lovely contrast, so I'm going to bring this down here. And hopefully my head won't get in the way. So one of the challenges though is when you're applying this, sometimes you get like a peak at the top. You might want to get one of these little sticks and poke it down, or use the nozzle to poke it down. Yeah, so they can be a bit tricky. So all you're doing is, if this will work, is you're piping out and I'm having difficulty getting this out today because it's quite cold. We are in summer, and we had like a 32 degrees yesterday, and today it's probably down to 14. And so this is kind of frozen on me, and I'm not getting a really good flow. Now the problem that with this one here is that there are two together, so I could do a little pretend in the center, just like a little one, just to sort of break it up a little bit. Okay, so I always like to just give this a bit of a wipe. And yeah, look, everything that could go wrong today has, yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so well, that's flowing a lot better. And this one here, okay, now I don't really like that in the center there. I don't mind the two colors being together. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of the gold there. There we go. Yeah, I put the gold back because it's a bit hard for me to see what I'm doing because I'm trying not to get my head in the way. But I think it's better having the two side by side, because at least they're broken up by the gold anyway. And then you can go back again and just touch it up if you feel like you haven't filled your circles in well. But that's just another way of making something really pretty. And then of course it's offset with something in the center, like I showed you here. But this has multi-purpose uses, which I'll be showing you how to use. But yeah, so that's all you have to do with these guys. You're just going to cut these out, obviously. And I mean, you might choose to absolutely go right into there, like make another circle and add more colors to it. But then you just, all you have to do is just cut it out. And you can go right close to the gold, because you can always touch it up around the edges if need be. And there you have it. Ta-da! Now that's quite a deep colour. I think we have, that's probably too bright even for me. Now that's pretty. Oh, I do love that. That's really beautiful. I love that. How to go about playing with these. There's so many possibilities. I know you guys will come up with your own versions of how to create these. Yeah, so go forth and multiply your journal jewelry and enjoy the process. So please go out and enjoy yourselves. Yeah. Okay. Now, just a couple of things. I have a couple of you have left comments, and thank you everyone for your lovely comments. A couple of you have left comments, and I wanted to just talk them through with you about nail polish and about using glossy accents to create a paint, a liquidy paint that you glue with by adding the alcohol inks. So this one was mine, and I used the glossy accents. Okay, so I used glossy accents by Ranger, and then I used the alcohol ink pearl bubblegum in this. Now, I could make it darker if I wanted to, but I don't think I really can go beyond the color that is already there. So it can tend to dilute the color that you're after if you're going to go this way. And this is what I did. So I just wanted to say thank you, Barbara, for mentioning the alcohol inks. As you know, in my comments, I did mention that I have used them, that combination myself. But just a word of warning, if you're trying to save your pennies, I mean, glossy accents can be expensive, and of course it all adds up even with your alcohol ink. So if you're going to be going down that route, then, or route or route, anyway, if you're going down that route, just keep that in mind, because it can be a quite expensive enterprise, but if that's what you wish to do, absolutely go for it. And this is what I created with it. However, as in the past, it's not been my favorite method. It's a great method if you want basically the ink, alcohol ink not to rub off. It's going to really last a distance. A couple of things that you will need to be aware of if you go down that way. So making your own, and I just did it again just for the sake of Barbara, who was talking about it, just to sort of help you out with your decision making, because I know everything that you choose to buy is an investment and you want to make your best investment. So you'll have to watch out for bubbles. You'll have to think about how you're going to apply it. Now, I applied this because this is the only bottle I could find, and this is ridiculously too thin for what we want. It would be great if there was a brush on that. It would be awesome. But I actually had to open this up, drip some of it on there if you're going to go this way, and use a paddle pop stick or an icicle stick to spread it around. Because again, you have to think about your application. You don't want to be leaving too many brush marks behind if at all possible. And because Glossy Accents is a bit different, it's much better to, well, in my opinion, it's better to just try and let it glide. You've got to really kind of let it move itself by just pushing it along so that it can layer on. But it does come out really thick as well. So the other thing, you could be utilizing a lot of it. How to water this down, I wouldn't really have a clue how to water this down. Anyway, I think the alcohol ink would help, I guess. What I don't, as I mentioned in the comments to Barbara in my previous video, and hi Barbara, is it actually lays another layer, and it's quite thick. And for me, it actually even distorts a bit of the faceted appearance of a gem. It's pretty, don't get me wrong, and it might appeal to some of you. I might put that on up a little bit closer for you. It might appeal to you, but it's not really me. It's not a medieval mirage Jaff kind of thing. So that's what I wanted to mention, but you can go down that route, but just be prepared for the expense. Getting colors to the color you want may mean more alcohol ink goes in. Working out a recipe, you'll have to write down everything you're going to do so that you always have the same recipe for the rest of the stuff. So you will have to write down how many drops, how much of this went in, and so forth, and whether you can afford that as well. So for me, it's not for me, but it might be for you guys, so I thought I would mention that. Hi there, everyone. So I just wanted to show you something that I totally didn't realize, and I only noticed it when I was editing this video. If you can see at the very top, I've got a white arrow pointing to that round gem. I use the bubblegum alcohol ink straight on that. So that's just with no clear glue or glossy accents. It's just straight up bubblegum alcohol ink. Now, the one where there's the pink arrow pointing to what we were looking at, that square gem, that's the one that I use for the glossy accents with alcohol ink. Now I know that it almost looks the same, but please believe me, it's not. The color is a bit different. The only reason why it's looking this way is that I've taken the photos from the actual video just to show you, because if you do watch it back again, you will see a difference. So if you can keep an eye out for that. But I totally forgot that I had used that to give as an example of how the glossy accents can alter the color that you're going for. Now, I didn't put a lot of alcohol ink in that glossy accents mixture that I was telling you about. I could have added a lot more, but what I'm trying to say is that's what you've got to think about, because you could go through quite a bit of a bottle if you're trying to get exactly the same color as the alcohol ink is without anything in it when it's straight. So I just wanted to let you know that there is a difference between them. The other thing to remember again is the glossy accents it's layering another thick layer over the top, and that can distort a little bit of the faceted gem. If you don't mind that, great. But the good thing about it is that it will seal the actual alcohol ink. That's not going to go anywhere with the glossy accents. But it does make it shinier, and that's what I wanted to explain. And as you will see in the next couple of pictures, yeah, there we go. I wanted to let you know about the bubblegum alcohol ink by Couture Creations if you're interested in it. But as you can see, the white arrow again is pointing to that gem. It's looking very, very vivid and bright. So that was the comparison. So again, it's all about what you can afford and your personal taste. So if you don't want it to be super shiny, well then I would definitely not be using the glossy accents. If you don't mind it kind of making it look a bit thicker and dulling the faceted look to your gem, well then again you can go with the glossy accents. But it is an expensive route to go that way if you're going to be using lots of it for your colouring of the clear gems. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. I couldn't believe that I absolutely totally missed it, and I do apologize that this video was a bit haphazard. I was all over the place. It really teaches me that I should be writing down notes for myself, because I was away from doing it. I was doing it away from a camera, and I was doing it like, you know, a few days before I actually recorded everything. And by then, boy, my brain is fried. But anyway, thank you for your patience. Please continue watching the rest of the video and the tutorial, and I hope it's been helpful. Thank you. Alright, so now this isn't exactly the same color, obviously. So I was using Vivid Purple, and I just painted it up with this texture by Born, which is an alcohol ink based texture. I painted them up, and for me personally, the easiest way of doing this is painting them with alcohol inks or the texture or a Sharpie, and I haven't got, oh here we go, or a Sharpie, though you might be limited in the color range if you're going for a wide tip, because that's preferable than a super fine one. Middle one is okay, but you'll have to see if it's leaving behind the brush marks, because you want a smooth finish when you're recreating a gem, a jewel look. So yeah, so with these I painted them, and all I'm going to do is, if I feel like doing a 1 or 2 light seals with my gloss sealer, that's one way, or with my hairspray that I showed you, but making sure you have about this much distance, I guess it's about 30 centimeters, and just sort of spray around like so. You might be able to get away with 1 or 2, just check, do a test run first, and you'll know after that. And that will preserve them a lot longer than without any protection. And you might want to just touch it up from time to time depending. So for example, if you are using a sealer, then you could absolutely, once you've finished your project, just do another light one again, but not right up close like so. You want distance, okay, to spray. Okay. Of course, the other way that I mentioned was using just clear Elmer's glue, cheap glue, and that's why I mentioned it. I didn't want to go down the glossy accents, because I felt for the purpose of what we're doing, it's not something that I'm drawn to doing. I just feel that the other methods are easier, and I like the finish better. I feel that the finish get better, but that's just my personal preference and my train of technique that I would prefer. I feel comfortable with that technique for myself, but I still like the clear glue, Elmer's glue, that you can use to mix up with your alcohol inks. You could go down and make your own batch of colors like you would as I explained about the glossy accents, you'll have to play around with that for yourselves and see how you go. But I think for me, just making up a batch at a time with the clear glue would be the other way to go. Okay, so that's that out of the way. All right. So these here have just been done with alcohol inks. Yeah, so someone was asking about glass. So I was able to find my glass pebbles. Might just put this here. So here are the glass pebbles that I did ages ago, years ago actually. But I found I couldn't find anything really flat. I guess they're probably neck and neck. No, you're still going to get a flatter result with the rhinestones. But this is quite a high dome. It's very, very pretty. And I do like it. Don't get me wrong. You're limited as to where you can put it in your journal. Because with the others, you've got more of an option. You'll be able to do a lot more with them rather than with these. Now, these would be great on a cover or on a spine. You could absolutely use it on a spine and make it really decorative. But yeah, you'd have to think about where the placement's going to go in your journal, because it's going to double the thickness next to these guys here. Okay, so, whoops. So all I've done at the back of these is just used, well, this is not even a metallic paint. So I'm not sure about that one. But anyway, so what you've got here is, I'll turn them upside down. Some of them are just not even metallic. I know these are metallic. I don't think these are metallic, but the others are, and nor is this one. But you can still get some really pretty results if you want to go down the glass marble flatbacks. You might be able to get really flat ones, so check that out. I don't know. I'm not going down that path, so you could check it out for us, I guess. But yeah, you can get some really beautiful results with these, especially if you're going to be making your own, like your own jewelry. Like if you're going to make some rings or something, or a pendant, you can absolutely use these. But it's very simple, and they do come out beautifully. So I've used the metallic, and it seems I've used just plain, and they've still come out really pretty. Okay, so those are those. I'll just move them out of the way. So not just metallic paints or just plain paint. You can use your nail polish. Now, I've had nail polish over the years. I used to paint my toenails rather than my nails. They're just so old. I can't believe that they still last the distance. So this one I painted with this. With this one, I painted it with this, and then put clear nail polish on the top. So that could be another way that you might like to go to. So let's just get one, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I'll just paint this color again. So I painted it with this. Where did it go? This one. Or I might have painted it with another color. And then I painted it with this. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have clear, but this has got a fine tint of purple on it. Just the finest hint of purple. Once that's dry, you could try and seal it with clear nail polish, As I said before, this isn't clear 100%. It has a light, because I think this is like a nail hardener. Okay. So can you see it's got the lightest of a hint of lavender in it. Just a hint. So that's going to obviously change the color. But yes, if you get yourself some clear nail polish, you could try and see how that will seal in your colors. So I'm going to go ahead. So I've just put that on there. Now obviously this color isn't going to be, sorry everyone, I've mixed up my colors. I should have done this in front of the camera. So this one here is that color, and then I put this over it. So it kind of added a purplish hint, hue to it. Okay, so it makes it super duper shiny if you're going to put some clear nail polish on there. So that's what you're going to have to decide what you prefer. But that's another way of sealing your Sharpies, your alcohol ink textures, which these are as well, and of course your alcohol inks. You could seal them with some nail polish clear, just lightly cover it up, and that's another way of sealing your colors in. However, it's going to make it even super duper shiny, as it did with this one here. So this one here, and that's the color. It's exactly the same, but see how super shiny. Now this one here, I just put the nail polish on there, and that's it. It does kind of frost it up as well. It depends, I guess, on the nail polish, the color, the way that it's been made, whether it's going to give you more of a sheer coverage rather than a bit of a frosted feel to it. Now the other things that you've got here, all these little sparkly ones. So there's that and that, and then we've got this one. Oh, and of course these two. All these little sparkly ones, all I did was put a little bit of this nail polish. Now, I actually didn't buy this nail polish for my toes or even my hands. I bought it because I've used these in the past. Before I realized that there was glitter glue out there, this is what I was using. So this is why this is still hanging around my home, my craft room. But you can add a little bit of something special or mystical looking with a little bit of the gold over what you create. So this could even act as a seal if you painted something with these, right? With these, or with the alcohol inks. Where is it? Alcohol inks. You could put a layer of that over the top. It's going to seal it in, and then you'll have all these little sparkly bits. But that might not be the style you're looking for. Now these are actually, would you believe, hot glue. Yeah. Yeah, so this is hot glue pebbles that I've done. So in other words, you'll get your glue gun and away you go. Just do it around, and do it on wax paper or silicone, a silicone mat, because that's the way to be able to remove them. But this is what it looks like without it. I haven't got anything else to compare because I didn't do all the colors. So I painted these with food coloring and a little bit of clear glue. I just mixed it up and put the food coloring with the bit of the clear glue, and then finished it off with the this nail polish. However, if you do have glitter glue, and you can get glitter glue in all sorts of colors, then absolutely choose your favorite and brush it on, or I don't know, dot it on with your finger, or you know how I use my plastics so don't get it on my finger. Yep, just put your color there and just dot it on and you're done. Yeah, I'll do a bit of a photo montage as well as a tutorial on greeting cards and journaling cards, but I just wanted to show you that one there. But please excuse the way that I've explained things. I've been competing with the traffic outside. My brain isn't working today. I'm sorry if I've not explained things properly, but I think you get the gist of the variety of methods of painting your clear gems. Now, you may not need to know any of this if you've already got the perfect gems and the colors and the shapes. Yay! But for those of you that do want to customize your colors, now you have a lot more options. So thanks to the beautiful ladies that mentioned some of these things. They are a really great reminder, but at the same time, I have used these in the past. And so for me, right, because this was nail polish that I used for this one, for me, it's not my thing. The other thing I have is the scent is just too overpowering for me. It really gives me a bit of a headache. So I tend to not use these as much anymore, or unless I'm outdoors. But they're definitely great for the back of these if you don't have metallic paints. And if you don't have anything, then absolutely go for your, what do we call these? Your, oh, my brain. Nail polish. Definitely use your nail polish to color these. But you'll notice that they will be a little bit duller. So maybe putting on clear nail polish over the top, that might give it a bit more of a shinier finish, but it might be super shiny. Okay, oops. So as you can see here, this is pretty super shiny, but you might like that. I mean, everything is shiny, but there are different levels of shine. So I hope that's been helpful. These are all my little blue tacks where I've been keeping everything. So just to show you what I mean with these ones, just putting a little bit of the nail polish, and boy, it is so strong. Oh dear. Okay, so yep, so just a touch, and it really does jazz it up, if that's what you're going for. And you can even put them on your acrylic rhinestones to get those kind of jazzy, mystical, they look like, I don't know, out of space thingies. For your style, because you might be going for a fantasy journal. You might even be doing a mermaid journal. This would be beautiful for a mermaid journal, and this could be I don't know, it evades me now. So yeah, with these guys here, these are your own little swivels that you can make. Great if you back them up on cardstock. You can double them up if you want to. You can utilize them with your brad so that you've got some really groovy things happening, and you can paint them whatever color. So this is what I wanted to show you, everybody, today. I hope it's been helpful. Yes, I'll keep pumping out my videos as best I can, but thank you, everyone. Please take care of your dear selves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.